Hey guys, Justin here with TechBusters IT Solutions. In continuation of our SysInternals Top 10 Tool series, we're going to talk about Autoruns and how you can clean and infect a PC with it today. Alright guys, so Autoruns could be found in your SysInternals directory, and if you haven't downloaded SysInternals yet, be sure to check out our last video. We'll link that in the description below. So once you get into your directory, Autoruns is simply named autoruns.exe. Double click it to launch and give it a few minutes to boot up. So this utility, it has the most comprehensive knowledge of auto starting locations of any startup monitor on the market. Autoruns shows you what programs are configured to run during a system boot or user logon. So in this video, we want to talk about how to use Autoruns to remove an infection or malware. So the only times you would ever need to use Autoruns to remove an infection would be if your PC doesn't have the resources available to run anti-malware programs. The malware can be aggressive and not allow other anti-malware tools to be installed, or the PC can just be very highly infected and limit your ability to use anything inside the OS. So what you're looking at right here in this window is a list of all the programs and services that have been started when a PC boots up. As the TechBusters technicians, we like to use the Logon tab to look at what applications and services are running to help determine troublesome software that could possibly be a virus of some sort. So keep in mind that most of the entries presented in Autoruns are actually legitimate programs, even if you don't know or never seen the names before. And right now I want to go over a few tips to help you differentiate between the malware and the actual legitimate software that's installed on your PC. So one of the things you can look for is if the entry is digitally signed by a software publisher. So if you look through this column right here where my mouse is at, it says publisher. Most of the time if there is a publisher or description, then there's a good chance that it's an actual piece of software that needs to be installed or you have installed or basically is legitimate. Malware entries usually appear on the Logon tab, which is why we always use it. Now, normally, like I said, it normally shows on the Logon tab, but sometimes it doesn't, and we'll have to go dig in a little bit later, and I'll show you some other areas in which you can find things. And another thing to note is that malware is most often located into the C/Windows or the System32 folder. So when you're looking at your path, if you expand on it, definitely look for that Systems32 area. And then malware often has a generic icon. So if you look at all these icons here, most of them, some of them are very familiar: Google Chrome, Spotify, Steam, AVG. Malware has a generic icon, something that is very not straightforward or not something that you recognize easily. So next, what we want to do is, there are a few things that you can do to identify potential suspicious software or malware or some sort of virus. One of them is if you actually right-click on an entry. So I'm gonna right-click on the Spotify entry, and I'm gonna go over here and click Virus Total. So as you see, the hash has been submitted, and it tells me 0/54 is the virus total. You can click on this link, and it's going to pull up a web page. And you can do this for every entry that's listed in Autoruns. And this virus total website will tell you if it is a potentially harmful piece of software or not. So for example, we use Spotify, and I ran the virus total on it, and it came back saying probably harmless. There are strong indicators suggesting that the file is safe to use. And it runs through different types of antiviruses and verifies that, hey, these are probably about 40 or 50 antivirus pieces of software have recognized that this application is okay. So that's one way you can kind of determine, in addition to the other things I listed above, determine if it is a virus. So let's say that Spotify, we've identified that this one is a virus. So what are you going to do to remove it? So you have a few choices. You can temporarily disable the auto run entry. So you can temporarily disable it, or you can permanently delete it. One of the things we have our techs do is we actually just, instead of disabling it, if it's something that we've identified as a troublesome piece of software, or there's virus total says, hey, definitely get rid of this, we just go ahead and delete it. You can also locate the running process in Task Manager and try terminating it that way. A lot of times what will happen is if it's a virus, that piece of that software will try to restart itself, and you'll notice that. Or you can delete the exe or DLL file from the disk completely. So those are really your 4 options there. Now, once you do decide on what you're going to do and you take action on it, you definitely want to see if your changes succeeded. And make sure you got rid of the virus. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to reboot the computer or the PC or whatever you're working on. And we like to run through these 3 checks. You don't have to run through all 3 of these checks, but this is something that we do to really make sure we take care of it. Launch Autoruns again and double check and make sure that entry has not returned. So for this example, if we deleted Spotify and we want to make sure that the software is gone, we'll relaunch Autoruns, go to the log on tab, and look for that entry again. If it's not there, then more than likely you succeeded in removing that piece of software. You can also check the Task Manager and see if the program or the process has restarted after the reboot. And the last thing you definitely need to do is check the behavior that led you to believe that your PC was infected in the first place. If it's no longer happening, 9 times out of 10 you've taken care of your problem, and you didn't even need a antivirus to do so. You did it all on your own. You manually deleted that piece of malware. So that's how you kind of identify malware and remove it with Autoruns. See you guys next week.